What's up? How's it going, everyone? Nathan coming back at you. Their Pokemon Showdown live. As you can probably figure out, we're playing some more Mono Ice today. Unlike last time where we used a sample team, I am going to be building my own this time, as I promised. So let's get into it right away. I did want to mention, though, that I've just been digging around on Ice teams. I've been watching some pro tournament matches that have been happening lately and kind of digging into what makes the type work a little bit more before I did this. And I don't know what it is, but I have seen this specific team like 12 different times on like 12 different tournament games. I don't know what's going on with it. I'm not in tune enough with the competitive scene to know why. However, I will point out that if you guys want another good one, and I'm thinking if I do another Ice live some point down the road, this will be one that I feature. But yeah, here's another option if you want to use a Glastrier team. I saw some people pointing that out, that they wanted to use Glastrier, and this is kind of a, I'm not going to say balance, but certainly has more defensive versatility than what I'm about to build, because let's put it this way. Gloves are off, so I can really get into this, but Mono Ice is an offensive typing. We talked before about the Darmanitan Galar, we talked before about the Kyurem, we talked before about the Cloyster, and even the Weavile and the Arctozolt, things like that. Obviously great offensive mons, but I would say one of the most historically great offensive Ice-type Pokemon ever is going to be one of my favorites, Mamoswine. Awesome design, first of all. Really cool type. And I think if you're going to make a case for one of the best offensive types in the history of Pokemon, Ice Ground is up there. Because Ice, again, it's a very strong offensive typing. If not for being resisted by two very common defensive types in Steel and Water, it would be excellent, excellent, excellent. Although if you look at the current metagame right now, first of all, a lot of the Steels have a Flying or Grass dual typing, which makes it neutral to Ice. Fantastic. And Ground is going to help out against the other types of Grounds. Also fantastic. And the main bulky water that would wall your Icicle Crashes otherwise, Toxapex is weak to Earthquake too. It all combines in this current metagame to create a really wonderful Pokemon. Thick Fat is not much of an ability for offensive reasons, but certainly gives Mamoswine some good utility too. The ground typing means it's not Stealth Rock weak. There's a lot to love in this Pokemon. So I was really going back and forth on what to do about this, and you know, it's hyper offense team, so I guess this part alone is chalk right now. I can do this, and I am going to do Light Clay for sure, because I'm not trying to, you know, get an Arctozolt sweep going or anything like that. I just want these screens up as long as top possible. I don't care. And I do want to point out, by the way, we'll come back to Mamoswine, but on the topic of Ninetales Alola, I think, again, there's a whole spectrum of Ice teams you can build, but I don't think there's any way you're not building a Ninetales Alola in it, because first of all, for starters, its stats are actually not bad. You know, 109 base speed is really handy. In addition to a serviceable special attack, pretty good special defense, all things considered. You know, the fairy typing helps a ton. Freeze Dry, as I mentioned several times, is a fantastic, fantastic move for dealing with water types that would help you, that would hurt you otherwise. Yeah, the Moonblast, fantastic. And in terms of utility mons, you have quite an array. You have Calm Mind, you have Agility if you want to go for some like sort of setup Ninetales Alola. That would be kind of funny. But more importantly, you have really good moves like Toxic, like Encore, like phasing with Roar, with of course Aurora Veil, one of the best utility abilities in the entire game. You have Heal Bell, fantastic. Heal Bell is like a top 5 utility move in the game, and Ninetales never runs it, mostly because it's too frail to get that off in addition to Aurora Veil. But like, it goes to show it's actually, it'd be a serviceable mon who'd have a case to be having inclusion on your team otherwise, without Aurora Veil. But when you add in Aurora Veil, which is just broken and insane, and you can control the weather yourself with your Snow Warning ability, so a Pelipper can't swap in on you for free, it's really just a no-brainer. And now I am going to, I gotta say, wouldn't it be funny if you did like a Nasty Plot team? Because again, like, this speed tier is nothing to sneeze at. With Nasty Plot, you can break Toxapex really easily. I was just thinking how funny that would be. I was gonna put Encore, and I was planning to put Encore because it's really, really good too, and you can get yourself free swap into your other mons, but just, look, what do I care? I'm just gonna do Nasty Plot. I think it's funny. If we get even one extra kill that we wouldn't otherwise out of it, I'll take it. I do think Encore is better in general, because you can get something like, you know, someone Toxic you when you Encore it, and then there's a free swap into like whatever, some sort of mon. Like I think there's all kinds of situations where Encore is definitely the play. And so yes, Ninetales Alola is chalk. And I was thinking that, again, in this sense of a hyper offense lead, Mamoswine actually does rock hyper offense really well as a rocker. So you can do this. It would look like Stealth Rock, Ice Shard, Earthquake, let's say. I don't think that one matters as much, but most importantly, Endeavor. So you go for rocks, someone attacks you, you hit them with an Endeavor, and then they're down to 1 health, and if there's Hail Up with Ninetales afterwards, they're dead essentially. Or what you can do is, if the opponent outspeeds you, so let's say you get hit with a close combat, they close combat you, you Endeavor them in return, so they're down to 1 HP, and then you kill them with Ice Shard. all of this stuff is actually really potent. Or even you get a Mamoswine in against a Toxapex, so you force a swap, you get the Stealth Rocks on that. They go to, let's say, an Urshifu Rapid Strike, close combat to you instead of a Surging Strikes, and you do that same Endeavored Ice Shard play. I think this is a very potent lead. I've talked before how much about how I like that with my Excel Rock, or what's that thing called? Lycanroc. I've talked before how much I like that as a HO lead, but it does require a lot of guesses, which isn't fantastic. And again, as I kind of want to theme a team around this, I think that it's a very underrated attacker, especially in Monotype. So I'm just gonna do the classic set here. It's very good banded because it gives you an extremely powerful Ice Shard. It's very good. I was thinking even doing it like a cheese scarf set. I think that's really, really funny to do a scarf Mamoswine that would catch everybody off guard. And with base 80 speed, you are outspeeding a Dragapult at that point. So all the speed tiers that you need to hit at that point, you are hitting. I might even make you adamant, dude. What do I really need to outspeed at base 80? Bisharp comes to mind. Bisharp does come to mind, especially with the steals, and I would need Mamoswine versus the steals. That alone, but it's gonna sucker punch me probably. We'll come back to that because an adamant Life Orb Ice Shard hits really hard. But anyways, I think this is an underrated Pokemon, and I'm glad to be able to theme a team around it. Also, essentially chalk. I mean, it's hard to contest that Darmanitan Galar really deserves a spot here. And again, I was just now musing, like, what if I made it a Scarf Mamoswine to try to catch people off guard, and then I can afford to run Adamant Ice Shard, which is still weaker in the long run, but still it's kind of a bit more fun. And then I can do a banded Darmanitan, which nobody ever expects, and a banded Darmanitan hits ridiculously hard, and it starts off the rip with 800 attack. That's absurd. That's Swords Dance levels. But Choice Scarf is really good, and I was looking through some calcs right before this, and the fact is, most things that you need to, like, you still can't 2-hit KO a Toxapex with Ice Cold Crash, for example, if you're banded. So, like, the benchmarks actually don't change that much. Like, the Mons that you can, that you used to be able to 2-hit KO with Choice Scarf, you can now just OHKO with a Choice Band, which isn't that important. Like, I'm trying to get into 2-hit KO range with everything. I don't really care to get into 1-hit KO range. That's not very sustainable, and I'm kind of rambling, but but I just don't think that there's very much advantage to that. And Darmanitan hits a very good speed here with a Choice Scarf, no question. It's a good Scarfer. Who saw that coming? I personally really love Kyurem. This is an HO team, and Choice Specs is impossible to swap into. That's no question. However, Heavy Duty Boots helps us a lot, and I think when it comes to breaking stall, like breaking defensive sets, this set is going to help us out a lot. So I consider this more of a wall breaker. I've talked before about how I'm pretty lazy when it comes to building my HO teams to do the most classic framework of, like, setting up hazards and screens, and then a breaker, and then sweepers, and then cleaners at the end. And so I'm pretty classic when it comes to building that way. And Kyurem, I think, does still fit this condition despite it being a stall set, because you can break a Toxapex through stall. That's legitimate in my opinion. Although we don't need to do the sub roost Earth Power Freeze Dry. That's the most popular one. If we want some flexibility, definitely less effective as a stalling mon, but still can. You could do Dragon Dance, Roost, Icicle Spear. That could totally work. You definitely want max speed, that's for sure. And I think you want 56 HP IVs, if I remember right. This definitely works. Definitely works. Oh, and I don't want that. But I think running Freeze Dry over Roost is very good. I think it's very good. It's underrated. Is it the best set? No, it's probably the third best set if we're being kind of brutal about it, but I still quite like this. So we'll give it a shot here. Yes, that's a good start. We got a breaker, we got a cleaner, we got a second breaker. Actually, now that I think about it, it's almost a sweeper and a breaker in the same extent. Its function is a breaker, but it can absolutely sweep at +1 with Dragon Dance. However, though, for my next Icemon, I'm having a hard time saying no to a Weavile. This is something that I ran up against in the ladder recently, and I was thinking it would work well with a team like this, which is kind of like, I always think in terms of cleaners, Alakazam with Sash is really, really good because you can attack twice. So let's say I'm in a situation where I'm against a Dragapult, for example. Dragapult's a poor example, now that I think about it, because as Dragon Dance is a tool hit 2-hit. Let's say I'm against a Scarf Hydreigon. I can force a swap there because I have the Sash and I can kill you anyways, is what I'm trying to say. But also Weavile runs it very well because it can bait out things against mono fighting teams with counter, right? I was playing a game earlier with a Weavile like this, and I was against a Cobalion, and Cobalion went for Rocks turn 1. Looked like they had me on a bad swap here. Looks like they had me completely covered, except I countered its turn 2, killed the Cobalion. It was a miserable matchup for me, and I got away scot-free. So I like that a lot. Of course, we're definitely gonna need some removal. Even though this is an HO team, I'm gonna 100% need some removal. It's mono ice, you probably needed it anyways, but that's fine by me. Plus, we get a secondary ice shard user, which I love. Very strong offensive mon in general, no question. Definitely gonna go max speed here. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I didn't know he had 85 base speed, Weavile, and 7 man. It's just the defense that's low. I didn't know that. Okay, good for you, Weavile. And then in terms of the last slot here, Avalugg definitely gets a nod with Iron Defense. It's almost like a latent sweeper in its own right. Fantastic rapid spinner, offers recovery, all that stuff. This is an HO team. Our only offensive hazard so far are stealth work on Mamoswine. If I'm being honest, I'm not anticipating getting that up too much because Mamoswine is going to have a lot of work to do as an offensive Pokemon in our own right. So this is why I like this pick a lot. I was kind of speaking of this team here. Something I like about this is this Cloyster set. I think it's very interesting. Rocky Helmet too. Oh, I was anticipating it being heavy duty boots. Very, very interesting there, now that I think about it. Ooh. But anyways, Cloyster. I like it a lot. Obviously, it's a Shell Smasher, and it's amazing with the Skill Link ability. But the fact is, even when uninvested, Skill Link and Icicle Spear are hitting pretty hard. So, like, as far as tanky mons go, it's really good. Its physical defenses are absurd when you fully invest into it. That's nobody's questioning that. And it's got an array of fantastic hazard control. So you get Rapid Spin, which is great. And yeah, after one Rapid Spin, even though it's got a weak Icicle Spear, it's serviceable in my opinion. But then you get access to spikes and toxic spikes, and in an offensive team that's going to be super useful. In a tier where there isn't much hazard removal, one layer of spikes and one layer of toxic spikes can totally shift a game just from that alone. So I love that idea. And man, I didn't know that the big teams ran a Rocky Helmet, or I did know, but I forgot about that. That makes me question my heavy duty boots call here. I think I'm still going to keep heavy duty boots because it's going to be coming in on rocks a lot. But I can definitely see Rocky Helmet being useful just for punishing U-turns alone. That's really interesting. I might change this down the road. But anyways, this is my team build here. Kind of silly, but I am confident in it. Let's see how we manage here. The Sash Weavile is going to have to put it in work too, but I'm reasonably confident in it. So yeah, Mamoswine, this is another good reason, right? If they're going for rising voltage Regieleki sweeps, which is almost impossible to deal with, then Mamoswine's going to be quite essential. So that's a good start here. Frankly, if I'm looking at my opponent, I think that a lead with Coco into a U-turn or a Volt Switch is rather likely. So I could punish that immediately with a Mamoswine. I could punish that immediately with a Darmanitan. Definitely do that. Darmanitan's Earthquake is going to be quite excellent. Cloyster's not going to do too much this game, that's for sure. Maybe if I get in versus Zero, or I can get up one layer of Toxic Spikes, that would be definitely very nice. Don't think they're going to have much hazards to threaten us with, that's for sure. Weavile could see it putting in work too. To lead Weavile against my opponent and bait a U-turn and go for a counter from there, who would... So if they led Coco, I think I would be able to bait a Dazzling Gleam in that situation, and I could go for a counter there. But I think the Icicle Crash would hit just as hard, honestly. They could also go to their... They could also pivot into the Rotomosh. That's a difficult situation to judge. I'm not sure if I want to do that. And Weavile would actually still be good against Raichu Alola, just to kind of disincentivize some psychic attacks there. So, okay. A lot of thought, but I think Darmanitan is a good lead. My question is if we just get that... Actually, Rotomosh, the more I look at it, is really, really nasty. If it's Will-O-Wisp, Arcurum's not going to be great. If they lead Rotomosh, actually, anticipating my Mamoswine, then Curum is the play. So I think Darmanitan is the play if I get this guy. Rotomosh is the play, or Curum's the play if I get Rotomosh. And here's actually an important thing. I brushed on this in an earlier video. I think that what's more important than anticipating what your opponent's going to lead with and then beating them with your own lead, if you're trying to be good at lead matchups, is having a contingency plan. So if I get this wrong, what's the best sort of backup plan? Darmanitan can U-turn on the Rotomosh and go to probably Curum in that situation. And then if I got the Rotomosh with my... If I got the Tapu Koko with my Curum, that would get pretty lousy. So I think I have to do Darmanitan then. As I do Tapu Koko. Interesting. Now Earthquake, I would love to do. but I just can't risk a Rotom Wash switch. And again, this is frustrating 50-50 because if they stay in and Volt Switch, I'll be pretty mad at them and myself for U-turning. I could also Icicle Crash. I'll do like 30% to Rotom, then I would still cover the Tapu Koko staying in a little bit. That's not terrible. I might do that. I might have talked myself out of it. Okay, yeah, they do that. Maybe I guess U-turn was the play. But you know what? That's chip on what we just ID'd as a very important matchup. So I'm pretty okay with that. And I think I go Ninetales here, actually. I think they're probably going to go for a Will-O-Wisp if I'm them. They could Volt Switch on me and get a lot of momentum back, which would kind of suck. Okay, sure enough, it kind of sucks. We're going to see Regieleki here, or they're going to bring it out early, the big hitter. Don't think we'll see Zeraora. Maybe Raichu Alola. Yeah, that does seem to be the case right now. We're going to see a nasty plot from them. We're going to see a Surge Surfer right away. Surge Surfer, can it break me? I've got okay Spadef. I don't know. Okay, it seems it can. You know, that's, you know, rising voltage calcs is something I will never be able to do just off the top of my head here. So that's fair enough. And they do have actually pretty good answer for my Mamoswine. So in addition to my Weavile with Focus Blast, this is dicey. So I'm just thinking rising voltage this turn. Do I risk the Mamoswine and go into it right now? They can also over predict here. That's the thing. I think the right play is to go to Mamoswine on a rising voltage, but I've broken this down a couple of times. I think I lose the game if I get that decision wrong, and they do something to just smoke my Mamoswine there. So I would like this guy for Rotom still, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna get a chance to go for Aurora Veil against the squad. Maybe against Coco, maybe against Zapdos. Whereas someone's gonna die. I could go to Kyurem, but going to Kyurem straight up would be a little bit safer. They do rising voltage, fair enough. Now I can go to Weavile pretty easily with my stash. This is a fantastic opportunity for it here. Let's knock off. If they swap, it covers everything. Especially Coco. If they stay in, this is an important threat out of the way. I bet they just stay in and rising voltage again. They are going to go to Rotom Wash here, so I think that's actually a pretty good play for us. We preserve the sash on my Weavile here. Yeah, I'll just knock off again, no question there. Important matchup out of the way. So now Mamoswine is kind of cleared to pop off now. It was already low. It was already in a good spot anyways. Like, Rotom wasn't really swapping into an Icicle Crash to begin with. But still, that was the biggest threat. Zapdos, of course, does resist our Earthquake. Does create a bit of a 50-50. Could be running Heat Wave, but we have Thick Fat for the Heat Wave. We have, more importantly, Icicle Crash for the flying typing. That's the appeal of the Pokemon, in my opinion. And yeah, they're probably gonna go to, I don't know, who do they go to here? Zeraora, huh? Is this a good counter possibility here? I'm thinking so. Trade for this Mon. I think that's pretty good idea. I've got the priority afterwards if that somehow didn't kill. That's awesome. We'll probably see Tapu Koko here, in which case, oh, I almost had speed that sucker. Do I preserve this guy to kind of Icicle Crash on the Zapdos down the road? That would be very useful. I could keep that priority in mind for the Raichu Alola. I won't be surprised if they Volt Switch here, but I'm actually predicting a U-turn. It will kill the Weavile. If I'm Coco and I'm my opponent, I want to make sure I can pivot into my important attackers as easily as possible. So I really predict a U-turn, which makes me want to go Cloyster, man. But they would just pivot into one of these guys anyways. Cloyster's not going to do much this game, that's for sure. But do I just want to sack it if that's the case? You know? If it's not doing much, why am I preserving it? My opponent's asking me to hurry. I know, I'm being pretty brutal this game, taking my time. But Weavile, do I want you? I think I do. I think that important Ice Shard is going to be good versus Zapdos. And yeah, okay, I did guess that wrong. But I don't think there's any situation where Cloyster was coming in and being super useful. All special attackers. I think that was a good play. Now, do I go to Kyurem here when they could Focus Blast me? I'm not sure. I think I'll try Kyurem right now. I think I'll try that. I don't, again, Mamoswine kind of wins afterwards. If Kyurem can win this matchup 1v1, then we're just completely situated. Focus Blast shouldn't kill. Even if that hit, that wouldn't have killed. Let's see if we get a 3-hit. We do. Oh, that's quite good. So Kyurem's full health now. Tapu Koko can't kill it. It's taken a pound of flesh from anyone you care to go to. So that worked out quite well. And I have just realized halfway through my second live that I do not have the correct avatar selected. But my guy's been waiting here patiently enough. I'll give them a second here. Am I faster than a Regieleki after one Dragon Dance? I don't think so. I think I just take the Icicle Spear here. Oh, is that a Specs Coco that whole time? Was not expecting that. Oh, man. I think that's Specs. In which case, we go Darmanitan and we Icicle Crash or do we Earthquake? think I Esco Crash, because then I can Revenge Kill with the Ice Shard. That's what I think my play is. Wow. If I'm my opponent, Tapu Koko is so important to how this team functions. I would have absolutely... Please hit. Please, 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 pretty please hit. But I would have absolutely had like a more pivot, you know, heavy duty boots Coco with a U-turn instead of Volt Switch so that you can guarantee get your pivots in and out to your Raichu Alola and to your Regieleki easily. Really surprising from me, for me. If they're going to go Regieleki here, I don't see any reason not to go Mamoswine. I do have 2 Ice Shard users to kind of help out with Tapu Koko a bit. I wonder if Mamoswine dies to a Dazzling Gleam. That's something I'm gonna have to calc down the road. But I mean, they could predict me with a ancient power here, I suppose. But I think I'm relatively safe in that situation. Okay, they do get this play off, and let's see. I gotta calc this for sure. I don't think there's any question I have to calc this. Versus a Tapu Koko Choice Specs. It's not. Yeah. Okay. Okay. What do I do about that? So I could go to Weavile, stack the Weavile, go to Darmanitan, threaten it back out with a kill on either of them. I can EQ at that point safely, and then Mamoswine to clean it up. But then we come back to it, and I would be fine. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fine. I think this is a guaranteed win. Unless they, yeah. Okay. If they had Volt Switch there, I could have lost. Actually, I didn't even really give it that much thought. I'm embarrassed to say. But yeah, I kill either the Regieleki or the Koko with this Earthquake, and then Mamoswine can clean up from there. Yeah, I think that's a guaranteed win. Awesome. Regieleki comes in. I think it outspeeds me here. Ancient Power's not even gonna do it. Yeah, GG to my opponent. I kind of kept the weight on that one. I can be brutal about timer, but I was getting real chatty in that game. But oh well, we come away with a win here. Let's get another one. Let's get a quick one because I'm on the clock with just the heat alone. I'm overheating here. Mono Ghost Hyper Offense. This is a sample team. I know it pretty well. It's a quite good team in my opinion. Except I think they've swapped out the... Unless I'm mistaken, they've swapped out the Spectrier for... Who was this? For Aegislash, unless I'm mistaken. No. Aegislash is Swords Dance on that team. What's this swap? I think Blacephalon. I think they've taken out Spectrier. I disagree with that. I think Spectrier is an integral part of what makes Mono Ghost offense so powerful in the current metagame. But sure, why not? My opponent, one of the priorities is going to be to get up rocks because my Rapid Spin does not work against Ghost, obviously. There's not going to be any chance to Rapid Spin. Rocks are very good against my team. So that's a bit of an interesting thing about that matchup. I could have a Defogger, which would help more, but in this matchup, if they get up rocks, they're here to stay. Very important. Spikes, same goes for me though. If I get up spikes, I'm in a good spot. Cloyster is excellent as a lead, unless I get you or unless I get you, which strikes me as decently likely. In fact, if I'm my opponent and they see I'm also a very offensive team, a lead from Ninetales, they could beat with one of these 2 guys. With a Gengar, probably Specs, Blacephalon, probably Scarf, but either of those spots could be swapped, that's for sure. So if I want to beat one of these 2, I think it's Weavile. Not to mention, if I guess wrong, it's a Sash Weavile. It's doing something to my opponent, with the exception maybe a Dragon Darts Dragapult. That'd be quite gutsy for my opponent. So let's do this. They do go Corsola, so they just really want their stuff up here. So as I said, Corsola is fantastic because the Corsola Galar is not nearly as threatening once it's lost its Eviolite, which my knockoff is going to do here. Not going to be a 2-hit KO, I believe, and I might get a burnt Weavile, but that's a trade I'm happy to make. And they do get to disable. Oh, I would have been a 2-hit KO otherwise. Oh, never mind. So we'll do this. I'm going to go Cloyster then. That's A-okay by me. Good start. They don't get up rocks quite yet. They substitute here. Okay. I'm probably gonna get burned to this turn, so I think I'm gonna go for the Icicle Spear this turn just to break the sub as they burn me this turn. I can always go for it afterwards. And they curse and put a curse on me here. I guess they were afraid of me being... That's actually... I didn't even mention that at all. A huge aspect of what makes this mon so good. Spike's Cloyster is that your opponents are shitting their pants. They're so afraid about you shell smashing that you often get a layer or 2 of free spikes here. That's what my opponent did. They just cursed thinking, I'm not going to let this guy shell smash on me. I'm in huge trouble if they do so, except they're not because they got an Aegislash. But in reality, yeah, I don't care. I'm getting up all these spikes here. Are you kidding me? Do I want to do another one knowing I can take a ton from curse right now? I wonder what they have. I can just go to Ninetales, actually. I got one layer of spikes. That's enough by me. It's enough to punish swap ins and outs. Oh, this would be such a good time for my nasty plot. I'm going to Roarville first. They might go to Gengar here. There's the rocks. A nasty plot at this point? Do they swap to Gengar is the question. On this of all turns. They finally get up rocks, by the way. That was important. And the combo of Curse plus Strength Sap, that is interesting, actually. I didn't even register that. But there's no burn threat, which I'm kind of relieved about. Nasty Plot's fantastic if they stay in. It sucks if they swap to Gengar. Or even to Blacephalon. How do I swap into those two Pokemon? Not very well. And now Weavile's no longer a Sash option either, which is worth noting. So I don't love that. Don't love that at all. But I'm gonna go... I'm gonna do it. I put it on for a reason. It'll be funny. It's gonna be funny, gang. It's gonna be so funny. So pog. And you know, again, I think Ninetales Alola is as a respectable special attack stat. It's enough to get the job done. They're trying to burn my Roarville turns. I think this is an okay trade. Do they curse me this turn? I don't really actually want to kill this Corsola with my Ninetales, because again, it's just giving a free swap into the Gengar, which I'm not a huge proponent of. But now this turn, I think I got to, because they can just Strength Sap again otherwise. Yeah, I did kind of give them that for free. So probably Gengar here. Again, it's a question. I believe these two are Choice Scarfed and Choice Specs respectively, but I'm not sure which order. And that's going to be really difficult for us to deal with. But it could also, you don't know. It could be a sub, Nasty Plot, Hex, whatever, Gengar. It could be a Heavy Duty Boots, Calm Mind, Blacephalon, Heavy Duty Boots, whatever. It could be any number of things. Aegislash could be banded. It could be Specs as well. Quite a lot of versatility here. Dragapult could be Specs. Of these mons, everyone on the right side of their team could be Specs. We don't know. We have no idea. They go to Aegislash here. I respect that play very much. Maybe this wasn't the play. Is this Swords Dance? Fair enough. Yeah, Swords Dance. I didn't really. This is a very passive. This Cloyster play could lose me the game straight up. I'm not gonna get myself any slack. Swapping to Cloyster at this point with only 2 Auroraville turns left. Potentially game-losing play. I think I have to swap to Weavile this turn. If they kill my Weavile, that really sucks. But it's my best play to prevent them from just kind of winning. It's gotta be one of these two. Let's do Mamoswine. Let's do Mamoswine. They could close combat me right now and die. Okay, and this is why I made this play. I should live a Shadow Sneak. Earthquake will kill. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, that's why it was a game-losing play for me to go that close to that one turn 11. They do that. Oh, they're gonna take out my King Shield. Do I die to Shadow Sneak? I don't know. I got 300 attack. There's no way. Holy crap! 1%. Oh man. They're leftovers. I can't even get up Hail and try to do something that way. You're either giving up Swords Dance or Shadow Sneak. I would predict they're giving up Shadow Sneak. Because Iron Head and Shadow Sneak are terrible coverage. I think they have to run close combat. I think. He said confidently and then just holds his head in disgust. I think. I'm willing to risk the game on that thought though. Let's go to Kyurem. I think they King Shield here, and I could punish them with the Substitute Dragon Dance. But they attack. Okay, here's the thing. Yeah. For the record, I think they are going to King Shield here, and this is gonna look like a dumb play. But if they attack me and I Dragon Dance or I Substitute, it's very bad. But if they attack me, Substitute's fine. They do have Shadow Sneak and they crit me. Oh my gosh, that makes me mad. So they don't have close combat coverage, which is mind-melting. Oh man, that's so upsetting. I could lose the game. I knew I could lose the game when I made that play, when I went for that Substitute there, but in my defense, a crit. Oh, that is lunacy. And now they got another 10% from that bargain too. So I don't think I can revenge kill with Ice Shard anymore. Doesn't matter though, because it'll be offensive, and I am livid. I think they King Shield here. I think they King Shield here. I can't believe it. I risked everything on that. I was kind of vilified It wasn't a great play. I knew it. I thought they would King Shield there. That's what it comes down to. They had a choice between King Shielding my attack or defending here, and they get it right this time because of course they do. They're now up to like 30% here. Do I live a Shadow Sneak at +3? We resist the move, of course, but I don't know. Okay, we do live it here. Oh my gosh. This is awful. I think Mimikyu comes out. It's hard to say. I think they do go Mimikyu. Okay, that's interesting. All Ice Shard. There's no reason not to Ice Shard. They're probably going to Swords Dance here, I'm guessing. No, they do Shadow Sneak. I wonder what that play was about. Maybe they thought I was Scarf. I guess they thought I was Scarf. Okay, so I can now go to my Ninetales Alola and do something, or my Cloyster and do something. I think Ninetales Alola makes a lot of sense. If we're gonna win, it's gonna be off Darmanitan's back, obviously, here, and I'd like to give it some support with Aurora Veil. If I don't die this turn, I can Moonblast for probably a kill next one. So they play rough. That is gonna be 2 KO, unfortunately. Now, Ninetales Alola's speed here is pretty useless to us at this point. Perhaps it can outspeed Blacephalon, but it's not doing anything with this move pool. So, oh my god, is my opponent trying to give me the game here? I'm actually in it. It's actually very much in it. And I'm hoping they go to one of these two so we can get a preview of what set they're running. Has to go Blacephalon. So yeah, they're just gonna tell me whether it's Scarf or not, which I'm down for. Although if it's Scarf, I just lose. So it's not, thank goodness. Special attack drop? No such luck. Can I kill this guy with Icicle Crash? I mean, it's a Darmanitan. I almost certainly can. So it depends on if we get a Cursed Body from the enemy. Gengar here. All right, please don't miss. Please don't you dare miss. Get that kill. We should outspeed the Dragapults. They go to Gengar here. Probably a Scarf Gengar, actually. Probably Fashion Nest with Aurora Veil. I feel pretty okay, unless they hit a Focus Blast. If they're not, do we get Cursed Body? No. I think I win. Despite that awful, horrendous, I will not defend it, Kyurem play. And some rocky start. We just sweep with Darmanitan. It seems like so many of the time these games seem a little bit rough. Darmanitan comes into the clutch. So that's going to do it for us here. So guys, thank you again for watching. Let me know what you want to see next in the comments. We're going to try something new next time. I haven't updated the vote in a while, but I will before I record my next live. So let me know what you want to see next. I think fighting was next up in line, but Mono Normal's creeping up. It's like 18, 17 if I remember correctly. So keep those votes up. I'd love to hear it, and I'll catch you next time. Take it easy.